So today we're going to talk about the 7 KPIs you have to have if you're going to grow in 2025. And these numbers, again, will tell you if things aren't working and what to fix. Because growth sometimes is about marketing. Sometimes it's about the front desk. Sometimes it's about the treatment coordinator. Sometimes it's about the doctor. Sometimes it's about the wrong kind of patient. And these KPIs will actually indicate what problem you have, or if you have all of them as a problem, right? Sometimes it's all of them, or sometimes it's some of them, or sometimes it's one of them. If it's one of them, you're still not going to grow. So these will actually tell you which numbers to fix. So stay tuned. Welcome back to another episode of Dental Marketing Go. I'm your host, Gary Bird. I'm the owner of SMC National, where we help offices just like you level the playing field against the big guys out there so you can grow the way that you want. But you're not going to grow in 2025 if you don't have these numbers. These KPIs are the numbers that you have to have in 2025. And if not, you're going to be like me. You're going to be cold. See me wearing a beanie? I live in Southern California. It is cold here right now. And you're going to have a cold 2025 if you don't know these numbers. So what I want to do is I'm going to give you these numbers, but at the end, I'm going to give you a whole PDF that I put together so you can digest these, so you can work through these, okay? So if you want that free PDF, just comment below, whether you're on Facebook land or whether you're on YouTube. Just let us know, and we will get that to you for free, and we're going to work through these. So let's jump into this. First, KPI. So there's 7 KPIs. Let's talk about the first KPI. So the first one that you have to know is, what is your cost per qualified lead? You say, okay, well, what does that mean? It's really important that we define this. And the reason that it's really important that we define this is because marketing companies and dentists use different definitions and they talk past each other. I see this happen all the time. The dentist says, I want new patients. And the marketing company says, I'm going to get you some leads. And then I'm over here talking about qualified leads. Those are 3 radically different things. Radically different things. So you can get 3 different prices. You can get a $300 price. You can get a $150 price, and you can get a $10 price, and those are all totally different, okay? So you say, okay, well, what do we do about that? Well, we just have to have clear definitions so we can have clear conversations. So let's talk about a marketing qualified lead. What is that? So in the marketing world, if you're just talking, if it's just me and another marketing person, when we talk about leads, typically we are talking about somebody who clicked a button on a website. And these are called like MQLs in the marketing world, marketing qualified leads. These are people that we think are people that are interested. They clicked on a button, but it may or may not be a patient. It may or may not be the right kind of treatment. It may or may not be, it might be, they might have Medicaid, right? That is not a qualified lead. And no dentist would count those as qualified leads. Those are very cheap to generate. You could generate those in abundance. And I think every dentist has kind of been through this before, where they've we got like 5 billion leads, but nothing else happened. And the reason for that is because you didn't know these next numbers that I'm going to talk about in a moment. So that's a lead. But then what we're talking about is a qualified lead. Qualified lead is a patient that's in your area that wants to come and get dentistry done. They're motivated. They want it. Right? You didn't like cold call them or something. They're calling you and saying, hey, I need dentistry done. And they aren't like a Medicaid patient or something like that, or an HMO that just isn't ever going to be able to come into your office. So that's the first KPI. What is your marketing qualified lead? That is the first thing that you have to understand. And you have to understand the actual cost of that. What is the actual cost of a qualified lead? And again, this is going to be radically different if you just say a lead. So if you just say a lead, it might be $10. But for a marketing qualified lead, it might be $100 or $150 for a person who's actually qualified to come into your office. There's a huge gap between leads and qualified leads, okay? All right, so then now let's talk about the next number. So that's the first number you need to know. Why is that so important? Tells you if your marketing's working. Tells you if your marketing is working. Do you know what your cost per qualified lead is? If not, you're probably not tracking it, and that means you probably can't fix whatever problems that you're going to run into. Okay, so next. Now you need to know what your cost per appointment is. So I'm just going to use round numbers, just so we can have a clear conversation. So let's say your cost per qualified lead is $100. And then your cost per appointment is $400, which is super high. Well, I know right away that marketing is working and the front desk is failing because they're not scheduling appointments. That means my conversion rate is only like 30%. Now, if I get a marketing qualified lead for $100 and my cost per appointment is $125, now I know my team's actually doing a good job. They're converting at a much higher rate, like 75%. Okay, so this is why it's so important that you know multiple numbers, because that one number will tell you right away if your front desk needs to be retrained or if your answering service needs to be retrained, right? I see this a lot where it's awesome that people are hiring like virtual people to answer the phones to save money and things like that. But then I'll see them like literally losing all of their new patients, but then their office is doing really good. And they don't know that. You have to track it to be able to know that. Otherwise, you're just going to be like, oh, yeah, we're just losing some and getting some. But there is a world where one person in your office or one organization is just losing all of your new patients and other people are doing great with your new patients. That is possible. It happens all the time. But if you don't track this cost per appointment, you have no idea. And underneath that, at our company, we track conversion of marketing patients by person. So we can actually see, okay, this is how this person's doing. Okay, so we got cost per lead, cost per appointment. Next is average time to appointment. Average time to appointment. Now, you might be wondering, how do you get all this data, Gary? Like, how are you tracking all this stuff? We use Trackable, trackable.io. It's amazing. It literally breaks everything down for us. We can see very clearly how marketing is performing, not just total new patients, right? A lot of people go, well, I got a PMS or I got this dental analytic tool. 99.9% of the time, marketing is not segmented out, or they'll just segment out just ads, right? That actually doesn't tell you everything. You need to have digital marketing as a standalone tracking how things are going, okay? So we use Trackable. Shout out to Trackable. So average time to appointment. Why is this so important? Well, in the dental industry, on average, people are waiting over 2 full weeks, 14 days for a dental appointment. Which is interesting because every single dentist is like, give me all the new patients. I always ask dentists, how many new patients do you want to go to? How many can you give me? To the moon. But then the new patient calls and they put him 2 weeks out. That's a problem. And here's the bigger problem. Your team doesn't realize that's a problem. They're just like scheduling people, but then these people are no-showing at a high rate. Then the dentist is getting mad. Why are these patients no-showing? And then they yell at marketing, you sent us bad patients. Well, if you track average time to appointment, you can actually see very clearly, oh, no, we just put these people too far out. So how fast should we be seeing these people? Well, how fast would you want to go to the dentist? Would you want to wait 2 weeks if you were in pain? Would you want to wait 2 weeks if you needed to get your teeth cleaned and you're new to town? And no, you wouldn't. You'd want to be seen right away. I would want to be seen right away. So people are going to no-show. Your no-show, the longer you make people wait for marketing new patients, patient referrals are different. They don't care. They'll wait because they were referred to you. Marketing new patients have dozens of options. Some of them have better Google reviews than you. Some of them will see patients a lot faster than you. And the thing that most people don't realize, the second that patient schedules with you and hops off the phone, and then next time they go on Google for anything, guess what they're getting hit with? Same day appointment ads. We can see you today. And then they go. Right? So this is a big problem. You have to be able to see these patients quickly. How do you do that? You just have to block schedule. What's happening in the dental industry is you have dental offices that are full of healthy patients. They're have no problems. You fixed all their problems, and they're coming back every 6 months like they should, just for their cleaning, and there's no work getting done. And because there's no work getting done, you're like, my numbers are going down. My revenue's going down. I need more new patients. But your schedule's full of existing healthy patients. So you have to displace some of the existing patients for the new patients. Not in a bad way or a mean way or any way that you're going to lose the existing patients. Just you have to make room for the new patients and say, no, these are for new patients only, because they're all going to have problems. Most of the new patients are going to have a lot of problems that you're going to be able to solve right away, very quickly, and they're going to be happy. And then they're going to refer you more new patients, and then you're going to pay less in marketing, and everything starts to work. But not if you're scheduling people 2 weeks out. And I know what you're thinking. Well, I don't schedule people 2 weeks out. Call your office. Pick a couple specific times and call your office and try to get an appointment. Watch what happens. Okay, next. Obviously no-show rate, but you got to track that for marketing. I'm going to do one more number, and we're running out of time here, but I'm going to give you one more number that you have to track if you want to grow. And this is a big one. So lifetime value is really important. So this is kind of like a Fugazi number that people float out there. Like a lot of times you'll be people like, yeah, my lifetime value is $1,000, but or $10,000 or whatever, right? I'm just making up a numbers. But the problem is they don't actually track it. It's just like some number a consultant gave them. You have to actually track this from your marketing. So if you spend $10,000 this month in marketing, how much did that actually produce? How much treatment was bought from that $10,000? And you need to track this over multiple different time periods. Was it $10,000? Was it 20? Was it 30? Did you track it over this month? Next, did you track it 60 days out, 90 days out? Because that number keeps going up. And this gives you your ROI, but that number keeps climbing over time. And the ROI gets better and better and better if done properly. But if you don't track it, you have no idea. You might just be bleeding all of your new patients right out the back door and you can't figure out why I can't grow. This is why we got to track different numbers. I got all the new patients, and my retention rate in my PMS or whatever analytics software I have says I'm at 98%, but I'm not growing. That means that you're bleeding new opportunities faster than you're keeping them. And just by simply looking at what your average or what your lifetime value is, or what your average first patient visit case acceptance rate is, so how much treatment are they buying on that first appointment, you're going to instantly see what exactly is going on. So anyways, hopefully this was helpful. I know we didn't get to go through all of them, but go and check. Drop a comment below if you want this PDF. It's free. And it really helps me if you like and subscribe. If you just like and subscribe, it takes no time at all. It helps me make more content, and I give a money back guarantee. So hope you have a wonderful day.